evening and welcome to 15 Questions. My name is Marcel, and with me this evening are two esteemed gentlemen, and I'll let them introduce themselves.
Good evening. My name is Alistair Liddell, otherwise known as Uncle Augie, DJ Augie. I love the Lord. I am happily married to one woman and have two beautiful children. And I'm glad to be here at the Georgetown Tea House.
Okay.
Well, good evening, everyone. Welcome back to the Georgetown Tea House. I am Tyrone Montfort. And first and foremost, I'm a servant of God who provides service in the educational field to God's children. I love doing it. I love helping people. And I hope that the questions that are asked tonight, that the responses, that you will not come after me thereafter. But I'm looking forward to having a wonderful time tonight with those 15 questions.
Oh.
I hope there's no theory that they're asking me the hardest of all the questions.
Mm-hmm. Actually, I plan to ask both of you hard questions. So I'll jump right into the first question, and that's for you, Tyrone. All right?
Yes, you saw the guy. Welcome, guys. Welcome to the tea house. It's Monday. Monday comes so quickly, and I want you to go ahead, like, and share the broadcast with your friends and family. All right? Don't pause. Just start clicking share. Just share it to all your groups and stuff with all your beautiful people and things. So we have a really, really good time tonight. All right? I want to especially, I can't do without you guys who usually come back and check if you miss it, you have to work or anything else, and you still come back and you hit that go button and you review the entire thing and make a comment, and we welcome you. We're glad that you take the time off to do that. All right, you guys are special. Now tonight, I have two girls who've been that have been here with us for maybe 2 weeks. One has been here forever, and the other one twice before. And we have a newbie, to the tea house inside the tea house. She's usually on the outside of the tea house. She's usually outside of the tea house. Let me talk to them a little bit. Renee, I'm starting with you. How was the weekend? What's up? Thank you for agreeing to join us this evening. You're muted, girl.
Thank you. My weekend is normally hectic. I think I only have one day out of the 2 days, because the Saturday is to get all the chores done, all the housework done, to go to shopping and stuff like that. And then Sunday is kind of preparing for the week ahead, church, then the girls and, things like that. So I find that I really have to carve out time for myself just so that I can relax and be able to have enough energy for the next 5 days.
Okay, good. Landy, what was the weekend like?
Busy. I actually 3 weeks ago I had I did a vacation, came back from that vacation and went on another vacation. So
you are fire. See, this is what Uncle Augie was talking about. Y'all left to go places, Anyway, continue.
But I'm vaccinated and I'm careful. I wear my mask.
All right.
Just the cleaning and getting the house back together, and then cooking, of course, because I have a family, right, and getting myself together Sunday for Monday. It's like, just slow motion, but I'm here. I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to see these beautiful women in front of me. I'm just blessed to be alive. So
good. Sammy girl, how are you, the kids?
Well, hi everyone. My weekend was quiet. I went hiking on Sunday. I went for a picnic on Saturday of some sorts. It was supposed to be a picnic, but when we got to the place, it was not what we expected, but we made the best of it. We made the best of it, and then we went hiking yesterday, and that was a great experience to be outside and do something different. It was great.
Right.
So I'm back preparing for start of school next Monday. So I am busy doing what all teachers love to do, preparing.
Okay. I had a very busy but good weekend as well. In fact, great. I hooked up with Shell, went to her sister's house and actually ate some the ribs. I think they had ribs. The ribs was good, and yet it wasn't pork. It was beef ribs. So for those of you who wondering, and then I had lasagna. I think it's lasagna. My food was so good. Sister could cook, And then I went to some fish fry and things. So I had, a really, really nice time too. At this time, I want to take a quick minute to shout out some people in the chat. Let me tell you, these people are here every week. All right, Arendella, thank you so much. Randy, my brother, you're in the chat. I listen up to hear from you. You're gonna be blazing the guys or fighting with them. Aldine, thank you. Purpose Driven, Arendella, and Audrey, and June, and my brother Timothy, they're all there, all right? Guys, Keisha, my cousin, Stacy, London, look, listen, man, all you beautiful people, thank you. And don't forget, please share the live with your friends and family. Alicia Corey, you're there. Candy Love, Kim Dundas. I like my food. Yes, I like my food. And guys, for all those of you who are online, please drop us something in the comment section so we know that you're there. All right. We want to welcome you. We want to feel your presence. We want to, shout you out in between and that kind of thing. All right. My boy, Lindsay Vaughn. Thank you, Lindsay. Good night. And KK, Trevor Benjamin. Thank you, guys. And you're in for a treat. So let's jump right in to our first question for the night. But before we go there, here is the intro.
So good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of 15 Questions at the Georgetown Tea House. We have two gentlemen, Augie and Tyrone, who you both know very well. Renita, welcome aboard. I mean, you guys have all met Orlando already, Samantha. Rennie and my trending my partner, welcome aboard. Welcome welcome to the Georgetown Tea House.
Thank you.
Before we go to the first question, Samantha, Augie said something that kind of tickled my ears. In introducing himself, he made sure to stress that he's married to one woman. I mean, one would have assumed that it's that. Why Why do you feel he would have felt the need to emphasize that he's married to one woman?
I think that's a traditional introduction that we hear around. I am married to one woman. I don't know, at least in my circles, I know that we live in a society that you should only be married to one woman. But I think it's a traditional thing. And, you know, the men who are very proud of their wives, they make an extra effort to say that. And I'm usually proud of those men. You know, I'm very proud when men say I'm married to. I laugh when I hear it, but then I also understand that that is coming from a place of pride and satisfaction.
Okay, great, Augie. Well, if you're in the chat, Augie, you're already getting some thumbs up. Orlando, what's your take? A guy introduces himself to you and emphasizes that he's married to one woman. What are you thinking as you hear that?
I am thinking he's saying I'm in love with this one person, so don't try. So that's what I get from it. Don't try it. This is the love of my life. This is where I am. This is where I'm going to be forever. So just don't try. I'm a one-woman man. That's it. Or one man. Yeah, the other way around.
What do you hear in someone introducing themselves that way, Rania?
You sure you want me to answer?
Very sure, very sure.
Well, remember it was a small frame that we saw, right? So I don't know if she was standing behind him with a broomstick or something. And just kidding, just kidding. It shows that he know who he is, and he know who she is, and he knows what they have, and he's not ashamed to say it.
Okay, great. Yeah. Great. Okay, you're watching 15 Questions at the Georgetown Tea House. Our guests this evening are Tyrone Montfort and Alistair Liddell, aka Uncle Augie. Please, as my co-host would say, please remember to like and share. Do tell a friend. Grab your cup of tea, coffee, juice, soda, and please do join us. Question 1.
A shepherd will usually have a stick and a few bricks handy should a wolf or any other predator appear to threaten the sheep. Why didn't God shoo Satan away from the Garden of Eden or dash a lash in him?
Wow, that's an interesting question. And we know that God Almighty could have done anything that he wanted. But since he's a God of love, and love is the ultimate expression of how one feels toward another, God had to put something in place to test man's love for him. And he had to give man the freedom of choice, the free will, and put something there for them to express the free will. So with no interference. And then you will know what true love is. Because if love is forced, then it's not love again. So God basically did not shoo the devil away because he wanted Adam and Eve to choose him without any interference whatsoever, without forcing them of their own free will. And that's the way we can express our own free will, when we're given the choice.
All right. So we're off to a great start.
Orlando, I'll go to you first. Your response to Tyrone's point.
I totally agree with that. I think that at times God would test our faithfulness to him, how much we love him, how much loyalty we have towards him. He would put things in front of us that maybe he knows it's a temptation to see if we're going to go for it or we're going to be like, nah, this is a temptation, and walk away from it just because of our love for him. So I totally agree with him, what he said about us loving Christ and what we would do to walk away from certain things.
All right. Ranian, I mean, would you expect that, okay, you give your child an instruction, right? And you tell her, you see them band across the road, I don't want you lining with them. And you may see the guy approach them. Who do you punish? Or who would you try to get rid of?
Well, I realize that I find the more you tell children not to do something, right, they're tempted to see why they shouldn't do it and stuff like that. So what I would do is advise them, these are the pros and the cons, and it's up to you to decide, where you're going to go. Because I find when you tell them not to, and you're not around 24/7, they're going to do whatever. So if you equip them and tell them why, not just not to, why they shouldn't, what the repercussions could be, then you might have a better outcome. If they're forewarned, then they're forearmed.
Okay. And do you think that, as Tyrone was saying, it was in giving us choice, right? In giving us the ability to choose, that was God's way of showing that He did love.
Exactly. Because remember when He put them in the garden, he explained to them everything they could do, with the exception of which tree they shouldn't pick from. Right? He didn't go into why not, but He told them. So they were instructed.
Okay. Your take, Samantha.
There's an old saying that foolishness is bound up in the heart of a child. And so, sometimes choices that they make, they really don't understand the value of it. But you see, God has given us choice as well for a reason, so that He could rule in fairness. Because if we did not have choice, then, people would just follow in fear and not necessarily in love.
Okay, I got you. All right, you're watching 15 Questions at the Georgetown Tea House. In the house this evening with us, we have Samantha, Rennie Ann, and Orlando. Next question.
Where is heaven?
Where is heaven? That's an actually good one. I mean, if you ask the typical person where's heaven, automatically we tend to look up and we tend to point to the sky. But if we notice that the earth is round, so if I point to the sky in America, that's going to be the ground in China. So I would like to believe, I've come to believe that heaven is just beyond the atmosphere in which we currently exist.
Okay. All right. Okay. We have great answers so far. We're moving on smoothly. And just like that, we're on to question 3 for Tyrone. Did Adam commit the original sin, or was it Lucifer?
When we speak of original sin, one will think of where did sin originate? And since God revealed to the prophets, and they recorded the revelation, when it was said that iniquity was found in thee, that was perfect until the day iniquity was found in thee. So sin originated from within Lucifer himself. So that's where sin originated. However, that was passed on to mankind. That kind of mindset, the mindset to go against God, was passed on to mankind through Adam. So for the human race, Adam is where sin entered humanity. But sin originated from Lucifer himself. But when he tempted Adam and Eve, and Adam fell for the temptation, it was through Adam that sin entered into this world. So in terms of humanity, original sin, I would say Adam.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Where is heaven, Samantha?
I don't know. Heaven is the place that God has gone to prepare for me, and when He returns, He will take me there. I don't know where it is. You know, we usually say heaven in the sky, but Uncle Huggy made a point which is valid, and so I believe heaven is where God has gone to prepare for me, and when He returns, all of this question will be put to rest.
All right. Original sin, Renian. We, we who would have read the Bible or in some way familiar with the biblical stories and so on. We know that the original bad boy, the original rude child, was Lucifer. So, do you think that it was fair that Adam got the stain of being, the person behind the original sin?
Well, in our world, yes, because he disobeyed God. We know that he disobeyed God because, like I said, they were instructed. They were given the instructions in the garden as to they could have everything except. So they were instructed. It's not that they weren't told what to do and what not to do. So to me, he yielded to temptation and he disobeyed God by eating the forbidden fruit. So yes, in our world, I would say Adam committed the original sin.
Okay, good. Orlando, as you look at it and as you think about it and as you look upon your own life and the paths you would have trod, and as a person who believes, why do you think that God has kept Satan around? Why to cause all this trouble? I mean, God was powerful enough to just neutralize it. So why has He kept him around?
Again, I think that one of the reasons he's still around, I don't think he's keeping him around because, of course, we're God's children. So I don't think there are things he would keep around to hurt us, but Satan is there for a reason, to tempt us again, to see how much we love the Lord, to see if we're going to turn in his way because he is here to conquer. He's here to conquer and send us into what we know as hell. So the more we follow after him, that's where we're going to go. But God has us here. He doesn't have him here, but he is around for a reason. Temptation to show again how loyal we are to our God, how much he can trust us. It's just so much. How much he can trust us, how loyal we are to him, how faithful we are to him. So again, the devil is wrong to just basically tempt us to do things that we shouldn't.
All right. You're watching 15 Questions at the Georgetown Tea House, and in the hot seat this evening, we have Tyrone Montfort and Alistair Liddell, a.k.a. Uncle Augie. We're moving on.
Uncle Augie, list 4 things a husband must do so as to prove his worth to his wife.
I thought these were hard questions. He must provide. He must protect. He must profess and follow through. And most of all, he must love God.
Look at these guys. These guys put in one to shame here. These guys are a roll on a ball. All right.
Anything left out there, Samantha? Four things that a man must do to prove that to prove his worth. Anything left out?
No,
or would that be your four?
I wouldn't touch that. I will not touch that answer. I will leave it as is.
I would have, he had the 3 P's, I would have make it 4 P's and put proclaim the love. So that he will be on the ball. Profess,
all right.
provide, and proclaim. I like that.
Okay, interesting. All right. Anything you would have added or subtracted, Orlando?
I'm scared to touch anything that Uncle Ozzy says. I mean, I'm with you guys with that. If I'm to add anything, it's going to be beneath what he says, because that was really powerful. The loyalty, the faithfulness, offering your wife peace of mind, being that leader. These are things that comes after what he says, but definitely I would not change anything at all that he said. I completely agree.
Okay, great. Augie, I hope you're wrong. You're getting some great marks there. Folks, you're watching 15 Questions at the Georgetown Tea House. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for your comments. Please continue to like, to share, and do call up a friend to join you.
Tyrone, list 3 ways in which a wife can prove just how much she loves her husband during the first month of marriage.
Submission. Yes, I'm big on that one. Submission, because I believe that that's where the powerful one lies. A submissive woman would get her husband to do anything that she wants him to do. And you read through the Bible, you'll see it. Eve got Adam, Sarah got Abraham, Isaac got Rebecca got Isaac, Abigail got David, and all the rest of it. So read right through the Bible. A submissive woman who knows herself in God will get her husband to do anything that she wants him to do. Submission, respect. When we talk about respect, we're speaking of not belittling your husband, allowing him to be the head, allowing him to lead, to be the support. And submission, respect, and appreciation. Appreciate the little things that he does around the house and so on. I remember, if I can say this quickly, I heard Dr. Monroe said this in one of his sermons. This woman was basically quarreling that her husband doesn't come home. He comes at 3 o'clock in the morning. And he said to her, change your perspective. Whenever he comes and said, I'm very happy that you're home. I'm very happy you're home, whether it's 1, 2, or 3 in the morning. And he said after a time, he started coming early because he appreciates him when he's home. The respect of it he came in. So submission, respect, and appreciation.
All right. First, I must say good evening to both Tyrone, who is in the chat looking on, listening to the responses, and Randy. Randy, I hope you are still enjoying your time in the good old USA. Thanks for chipping in. All right. A submissive woman would get her husband to do anything. Renian, talk to us.
Why you chose me first? Submissive. I kind of agreed with everything else, but the submissive part got me. Maybe it's just the terminology. Submissive. I don't know about the word submissive, but I like the word respect and supportive and appreciative. Maybe I do, maybe obedient, but submissive. The word submissive has so many different connotations and meanings. It might make an independent, strong-minded Christian woman a little bit taken aback. I might be wrong, but I don't know. I don't like the word submissive, but I like showing the respect.
I see you being very careful how you're pulling the words out.
Yes. I like the word respectful, and let him lead and let him be supportive and appreciative, and and compliment them and stuff like that. The word submissive, I would have to find a different adjective for that, because it could have a negative connotation and it could be taken out of context.
All right. Samantha, a submissive woman will get her husband to do anything. Your thing.
Well, in my opinion, a submissive woman or a submissive wife really starts with you as an individual, because it requires a very strong, extremely strong, very strong, confident, well-grounded woman to be able to embrace that concept of a submissive wife. And we hear submissiveness and we hear losing ourselves, or that's what we find ourselves in in a situation when we hear submissiveness. Women hear losing ourselves. But if you are strong and you are confident, I believe you are able to help your husband, right? You are able to be his lover, to be his helpmate, and to be his biggest supporter. And so that means that you are able to tell him respectfully when things that he is doing is not correct, or it is painful, or it is hurtful, in a respectful manner. And so I agree that, as a submissive wife, you can get your husband to do a lot of things. I don't know about everything, but you can get your husband to do a lot of things. But it's from a place of who you are as an individual.
All right, Samantha, Tyrone is saying he's loving what you're saying. Orlando, what's your take?
Okay, guys. So y'all know I'm right. So I do not like the word submissive. In a real world, submissive means a lot of things. It's taken out of context with a woman being submissive to a man. Biblically, it means something else, but in real world, and I live in the real world, you are actually at times taken advantage of when you're submissive. It's taking your kindness for weakness. Okay. How about if we continue to do the same things we were, instead of being submissive, the same way we got that man to marry us, let's continue to do the same things. Don't change a thing. Continue to do the same things. Continue to support him. Continue to love him. The guests on the podcast before this said, walk beside him. Do the things that made him marry you. Don't change a thing about that. How about a partnership? How about reciprocating the same things that the wife is doing, the husband is doing? Because for me, the way you treat me, I come 10 times, towards that, or I give you more because you're treating me the way I'm supposed to be treated. So in a real word, submissive is I do not like that word at all. I'd rather us be even, and I treat you exactly the way you treat me, because I need love too. I need the exact same things you need, but I'm going to have you 100% if you treat me like that queen. That's what I think about
but I think you're also saying that if he does treat you right, if he does treat you like a queen, that there is a big part of you that will be submissive.
Yep.
Or submissive never.
Biblically, yes. Real world, I want to separate it, but I definitely would be that woman. I have that heart that I would make sure that my man, my mate, my husband is taken care of. I will go to the ends of the earth, but it has to be reciprocated. I can't be doing it all and you just sitting there waiting me to be submissive. Like you're home all day doing nothing, and I'm out there working and come home, you like, baby, you cooking? Well, how submissive am I being? I'm tired. And you may hear me say, I'll be like, no. That's just me.
I got you. You're watching 15 Questions at the Georgetown Tea House, and we have Uncle Augie and Tyrone in the house.
So moving on, Uncle Augie. T-shirt with a message or plain tees? Your preference and why?
Plain. I don't believe in advertising for anybody that's not giving me compensation. So I take a plain tee anytime.
Okay. All right. No free advertising.
No free advertising unless I really like that design.
Okay.
But
what about something that says Jesus? Or I gotta
really like I gotta like the design, or else well, yeah, something like that. Yeah, I'd probably wear that.
Okay.
But
so
overall
your
preference
is plain.
Plain.
All right. Okay. Tyrone. Wine, beer, vodka, weed, none of the above. Your preference and why?
Repeat that for me. Wine,
beer, vodka, weed, or none of the above. Your preference and why?
I would say none of the above, simply because all of those that you would have mentioned, they have an effect on the brain. Mm. They have a negative effect on the brain cells. And I think if I want to keep my thoughts pure, if I want to enhance my thoughts or have great quality of thoughts, then I should stay away from those.
All right, Samantha, you wanted, I missed your hand just now. You wanted to say something on the subject of submission?
Yeah, I realized that it's like I did say before in my statement that, we find ourselves in a very peculiar situation whereby we measure submissiveness on the state of the society in which we exist. And somewhere along the line, the notion of the word got bandied around to mean women who give up of themselves and allow their husbands to take control of their lives. And I'm being specific when I said husbands, not the guy we dating some fella, because you will hear people say, well, oh, I am not going to get married to her because she will not be a submissive wife. No, I can be submissive to a guy that I'm in a relationship with. Submissiveness is for when I become married. And because society has trampled on that concept, it becomes, and we have so many everyday examples as women to say, well, look at X, Y, and Z. She was submissive, and look at where she is now. We find ourselves in a very tight situation to embrace the concept of submissiveness. And it's a painful one to watch sometimes. It's very painful to watch. Mm-hmm. But then, like I said before in my statement, it's about embracing who you are as an individual, being very strong. And sometimes we have to take our minds out. We have to be in the world and not of the world. And so sometimes we have to remove worldly things from some concepts and apply, what they were intended to mean. And until we get there, we are going to have a generation of women who's going to fight submissiveness.
Interesting. This seems to be something we're going to have to look at in depth at the Georgetown Tea House.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's make that a topic. I love it.
Yeah, definitely. Ready, and what's your thought on the, a little wine, beer, or something every now and then? Tyrone thinks that it's gonna corpuscle the brain a little and thing. What's your?
Because I don't do any of them. I'm not sure if I am a good. I can give you an unbiased response, but I don't drink, smoke, or do anything like that. Even wine and stuff like that. And I've never been interested in learning and trying it out. However, even when I go to church and I do my communion, that little bit, when I drink it, I feel like I'm going to pass out. That's how much I don't drink, and I don't tolerate alcoholic beverages, including wine. So, but to me, in life, this word choice and free will comes back. And like I tell anyone, because I try not to be judgmental, anything in moderation. A glass of wine at a wedding or an event for people who imbibe, I don't see a problem with it. Right now, weed or marijuana, whatever people call it, is being used for some people for medicinal purposes. And if it's going to help some people, why would I stop them? I have family members who doctors, when we visit with them, let them know that there may come a time when they may have to revert to that for medicinal purposes. So it all depends. If the weed or the marijuana or whatever can be used, they simply have no other alternative, and they have to use that for medicinal purposes, I will support that wholeheartedly. But the excessive drinking and alcohol and beer, etc., I never supported that. But the occasional glass for the people who do, nope, why not?
Okay, thank you, Rennie.
Remember God, Jesus was at a wedding, and when the wine went out, so.
He added it, all right. Orlando Randy in the chat was saying, a little wine is good for the stomach. What say you?
I believe it.
Okay, great.
I believe it. Look, I'm what you consider as a cheap date. I don't really drink or whatever, but there are times, especially at what you call your JOB, when you can't do the things that you want to do. You have to come home to a little bit of something just to, like this, it kind of slows you down, maybe just mellow you out a little bit so you can just relax from that day. So I believe it. Yeah.
Samantha, little wine is good for the stomach. What say you?
To each his own. To each his own on this one. Recreationally, I don't support the consumption of any substances. And it is founded in an early adult experience that I had, and so I am anti all substances. But I will not allow myself to be dragged into a discussion about people's preferences. I usually, on that one, I say to each his own. But if you're going to come around me, I will state explicitly what it is I prefer.
Okay. All right. You're watching 15 Questions at the Georgetown Tea House. Please continue to like and share the broadcast.
Uncle Augie, this is for you. Can a marriage survive without the act of sex?
Yes. A marriage can survive without the act of sex. I mean, a marriage is it's a union, it's a commitment. It doesn't really have as much to do with sex as we would like to believe. In terms of intimacy, I would like to believe that I have an intimate relationship with God, but I have never had sex with him. So yes, if my relationship with God can survive, then definitely my relationship in my marriage will definitely survive.
I like that. Yeah, I like that. Thank you so very much.
All right. Now, we've all lived, on this earth of ours long enough to have been a part of different types of relationships, at work, at school, at church, within our homes, within our communities. And based on our lives, Samantha, I'll go to you first. Based on your own existence, would you say that a marriage can survive without the act of sex?
Yes, I believe that a marriage can survive without sex. It's going to be a tough experience. It will be a very tough experience, but it can survive. You see, the reason why I say so is because, and please don't come for me, people, I don't think that sex is what is important to the relationship. I believe intimacy is what is important to a marriage. And as such, if there are things that will replace the sex and the intimacy is there, then there is hope for your marriage.
Okay. But I'll stay with you for a minute, Samantha. Like the church would encourage, it's the congregation's following to not engage in premarital sex. All right? So for those few young men and women who would have opted to adhere to what the church has asked, and then they get married. I mean, Samantha, think of that. You mean you've been waiting, you're being obedient and them thing, and then you get, and for some reason, there is no sex. What are you gonna do?
I really don't know. You see, that is situational. And so I don't know what I will do in that situation. I really don't know. I honestly don't know what I will do in that situation. I also believe too that things that you did not experience, then you can't miss it. I mean, I might be wrong for saying that, but
with something that I'm not too sure about this one.
I mean, I could be wrong. I am no therapist in this area, but I believe that. I don't know. I honestly don't know how this one will pan out. I don't know.
Right.
But you are correct on the fact that we wait. Some of us we wait until marriage to be involved in sexual intercourse. But that's not what all a marriage is about. That's why I will continue to contend that a sexless marriage will go a longer way than a marriage that lacks intimacy. Because you could be having sex and it doesn't mean anything, and you really hate the person that you're going to bed with, and you want to get out of it because you have no intimacy. There's no connection in all of that.
Okay, I hear you. Renian, can a marriage survive without the act of sex?
I think so. If the couple you could have intimacy without having sex, right? And you can also have share sex of the mind. There's different things that you can satisfy each other with. Remember when you first met, it was just conversations and stuff like that excited you in the first place and attracted you to the person. So and when you first met, you didn't run into bed right away. You had your conversations and stuff like that, and you got to know each other, and then you have intimacy. And some people confuse intimacy with sex, and you don't always have to have sex to have intimacy. So you could actually satisfy each other without having physical sex. You could satisfy, I like to say, saposexual. You could stimulate my brain, my mind. I could be satisfied. We could have a great conversation, you know, because like you mentioned diabetes and something and other stuff. Now, so, you know, in sickness and health. So just because the person now can't function the way they used to function, and let's say now we're in our 60s, 70s, and they can't function, should the marriages dissolve because we no longer can do certain things that we did when we were late 20s, 30s, 40s? You know, so to me, a marriage could survive if it's meant to survive. And remember now, marriage is a work in progress. It's not just you get married and everything, you know, you have to work at it. You have to work at it. It's continuous. And as I said, if things happen to your partner, are you just going to up and leave them just because? No. You find other, like Samantha said, you find other means. You find other, you know, means to satisfy each other. But a marriage is just based on sex, and if the sex stops, I can't see it lasting. You have to be able to have satisfying and meaningful conversation. And I think someone always said it's 70% mental and then the other 30%. So if that 30% don't, you still have that 70%, your marriage is going to last.
You know, listening to you, Samantha, right? As a man, I would suddenly get very relaxed. You know, I would say, I ain't really got stuff to worry about, but based on my experience, I mean, gentlemen, you got to support me here, but based on my own experience, what say you, Orlando? Sex in a marriage, can one really survive without sex in a marriage?
You know, first let me say I think this is a sabotage. You guys got me up here because y'all know I love the Lord, but I'm real. Orlando is real as they come. I mean, so I have this particular friend that his wife actually, I think she's cancer free now, but for the times that she was going through, he was having a hard time. So we used to have not that kind of conversations, but he would tell me how much he's struggling because he could not have his way as man and wife with her. And I know it was hard for him, hard talking him down, but who am I? Because I'm gonna tell you guys this. I mean, my marriage would survive, but we gotta have some talks. Because hidden number 40, I don't know what happened. I've been woo, okay. So I can sit here and say, yeah, I'm Miss Goody Two Shoes, because I'm not. Mm-hmm. We need to have a conversation. What we gonna do, boy? we gonna visit Adam and Eve store? I'm just being real. We have to find ways to 40 is a beast. I can't help it. 40 is a beast. I've never experienced anything like this in my life. I need help. If you can't help me, we need to do something. We got to come up with something, man, because this system, I'm going to lose my mind. I'm going to snap at everything because that's how it goes. I'm going to snap. So in a real world, we have to discuss. I think we should, some people would go as far as asking their mate if they can have a partner. Don't bring it in the house, keep it out the house. You can do it out there, but stay out there. And then, there's stores. There's so many things that you can help me with, but we got to do something because
this is another subject for the tea house, women at 40 and how.
Hence my term, coping mechanisms.
That's correct. That's correct. Orlando balances. Well, Orlando she is my inner head.
I'll bring it up, girl.
Yeah.
All right, you're watching 15 Questions at the Georgetown Tea House. We're moving on.
So we're on to question 9, and Tyrone, this one is for you. Name a secular song that you think would also have worked as a gospel.
That is a tough one.
Really?
Let me see if I can. I'm not too good at remembering songs. But let me see if I can remember one that can go as a gospel. Whoa. My memory fading right now.
All right, Uncle Augie, I'm going to ask you to help him quickly on this one.
The first one that jumped out to my mind is Everlasting Love. And I believe that's Tony's Cherry that sings that one, his version.
Okay. Never heard that one yet.
Yes.
All right, so Tyrone, you ready? You got one.
All right. We need some help for Tyrone there. You know, we know there are a few beautifully chronicled secular songs. So we're trying to say, you know, which of those, you know, would you say that would work also as a gospel? Can you think of one, Orlando?
No, because that's all I know. I know some of Whitney Houston's songs. It can actually translate into gospel. It's not really coming to me right now, but one of the things I wake up with is a song in my head, and one of that is it's always a gospel. So I don't really look at worldly songs that can really translate into gospels, but I do know like a lot of Whitney Houston songs that you can actually direct in that way, and think of it as a gospel song.
Okay. Can you think of anything, Redian?
I always like I guess what's the name? I know a place, ain't nobody crying. I forgot who sang it. Oh my gosh. That words of
Marcel, you're gonna have to help us out here with these songs in the chat there.
Yeah, and Lean on Me.
Lean on Me, okay, yeah.
Me.
That's a great one. Samantha, I know you said that music is not your strong suit and thing, but is there a secular song that you know you would think sometimes that maybe it uplifts your spirit and all that, much in the same way that a good gospel can?
There's one that I sing all the time, and I was surprised that it was not originally a gospel. I think it was first sung by the Beatles, like a bridge over troubled waters, or was it Elvis Presley? I think one of those individuals would have, recorded that song, and I was actually surprised that it was not originally a gospel song, but I sing it all the time. Every time I get into my head, I sing like a bridge over troubled water.
Okay, interesting. Yeah. You're at the Georgetown Tea House, and this is 15 questions.
Name a non-Christian movie you would recommend that all Christians see.
That I would recommend all Christians see. That's a tough one because my all-time favorite movie, believe it or not, is Princess and the Frog.
Really?
Yes. But if I had to pick one, the first one that came to mind would be Black Panther, because I remember making that reference after I saw Black Panther. And I said, yes, this one I didn't see anything provocative to that point. The women respected the men respected the women. And it was just overall a great movie. So yes, I'd have to say Black Panther.
All right. Okay. Moving on.
All right. Samantha, any movie suggestions that you would say to Christian brothers and sisters. It's not a Christian movie, but I think this would be good for you, good for your spirit.
There are many movies like that, but the one I will choose at this time is The Notebook.
Okay.
Yeah, The Notebook.
I
usually recommend that a lot. Every time I try to, when I have a little club where I meet with a few of my students and we talk about life, and I've looked at that movie with teenagers and so on.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay, great. Renian, any movie comes to mind?
Non-Christian movies
that you found inspirational and that you would recommend that your fellow Christians see?
Because the ones that I think that are inspirational and like how they end and how people turn back and help others and stuff like that.
Okay.
It might have killing in it, and it will go against some of the commandments, thou shalt not kill and stuff like that. So even though the big picture, the moral of the story might show that compassion, kindness, giving, helping and stuff, so none really comes to mind right now. I wanted to say to serve with love, or White Roses for my Black sister, but it's not really, I can't remember them verbatim, so I don't want to give them.
Any movies come to mind, Orlando?
I am going straight for Sound of Music.
Okay.
The love I have for that movie, I talk about it over and over again, but it shows so much strength, love, determination. I think that is something that Christians can actually watch and enjoy and learn so much from it. Definitely.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. You're on to the Georgetown Tea House and you're watching 15 Questions.
Tyrone, would you ever cry in front of a woman?
You mean again?
You see this man on the road.
Yeah, I think, well, my brother and sister know that I love to cry. I'm at a young age growing up, but I believe that crying is an expression of manhood. It doesn't make me as a person weaker or look less than a man.
Okay.
But that's to the woman that yes, there is a guy who's in touch with his female side. He's in touch with his feminine side. So I will cry in front of any woman.
Okay. All right.
I would not feel bad in any way.
All right. You won't be afraid of her calling you. All right. I'll leave it for the chat. I'll leave that for the chat.
Man, she can go whatever. That's okay. It doesn't change me.
Okay.
Well,
all right. Uncle Augie, leave it for the chat, please. Leave your comments for the chat, please.
All right. Last week we asked Cleon, is it okay to cry? And Cleon said, certainly, no problem there. And so I'm certain that the three women in our midst that you were heartened by Tyrone's response. Do I have that correct? I mean, nobody got a problem there, right? No. Orlando, Samantha.
I, however, did not like the fact that he said that he will cry because he wants her to know that there's a female side, or there's a female something to do about the female inside of him. And we need to shy away from that, because that's the only way that we are going to be able to embrace the emotion of crying for what it is. It's not a female emotion, and crying has nothing to do
with gender,
nothing to do with bringing out the female side of you. It is a normal response to things, whether you're happy, it's an emotional response to situations that you find yourself in. And so more and more we have to coin that message, and we have to place it out there in such a way that we understand, or we make crying a healthy response to life. That's what we have to do. And if we, and that's why, you know, I don't know if I'm going on too much, but we have to coin it in such a way that we don't say that crying is a thing only for females. And we have to stop it when we, you know, when our boys are crying, we have to give them the opportunity to cry and then embrace the situation.
Expression. Yep, it's an expression. It's a natural expression of an emotion felt.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, thank you so much, ladies.
Uncle Augie, describe the perfect date for a husband and wife.
The perfect date for a husband and wife is where they both show up to whatever location with the intent of one outloving the other. That's a perfect date.
Okay, outloving each other.
With the intent of outloving each other.
Okay. Would there be any specific, any special food, any maybe a glass of wine, red or white, anything so?
Atmosphere will not be as important when that mission is there. Then nothing else matters. It's as though have you ever sat on the phone with your loved one, and well, it usually happens when you're dating. You're on the phone for hours talking about absolutely nothing. Well, that's the same situation.
Nothing, but yet everything.
Exactly.
Yes. Okay. All right. The perfect date. All right. Okay. Tyrone, this one is for you. What could a woman have done or said that would have tempted you to marry her on day one? I mean, the first day you met.
That can be so many things that she would have done or said. One of the things that she could have done is simply to just be herself and show her simplicity, her gentleness, and also her respect. I mean, if the first day I saw her with her father, and her father is not well, and the way she treats her father when he's not well, then I would say to myself, when I get old and I get sick, then I have somebody here that can take him. That's what she can do. In terms of what she can say is the way she speaks, fluency, control, calmness, respect, and so on. So within the first 5 to 10 minutes, I can say, no, hey, she's worth a try.
I could definitely live with this one. All right.
Orlando, I'm saying to you, a perfect date for, say we married, man and wife, is we going anywhere. It doesn't matter, but we going together to whatever place, and within our hearts, within our minds, our aim is to outlove each other. How do you envision that? And does that strike you as a woman?
Okay, so in life, with all that we have to do, maybe kids and work and all this, we sometimes don't have the time to spend that QT time with that person, your husband. For me, my special time, I love the moonlight. I would love to have us go to maybe a park when it's getting dark, him have some strawberries or something and feed me. I want to hear how beautiful I am. It doesn't matter how rugged I look, how good of a woman I am to him. Just things about me, and me say the same things towards him, that it's like we're saying too much, but then it's not too much. It's just kind of connecting again with, sometimes we lose so much with everyday life, just running, going, working, and Uncle Ozzy said something earlier about being on the phone and talking for hours on end. That's when you first start. That's puppy love. You be on the phone, you talk about the same things over and over and over, and it never seems to get boring. So I want to do that in the park. I want to talk about the same things we did when we met, that we're doing, just that same kind of puppy love kind of thing. I think will make me feel better, or that would be the perfect date for me.
Okay. Samantha, the perfect date.
I don't want much. Silence will be good for me.
Silence.
Yeah, if we could go to a place, and if we could go to a park or the zoo. Well, I'm not so much an animal person. To love animals is a different kind of thing. And not that I hate animals, I just don't love them. But a perfect date would be anything that requires silence. We could just sit in each other's company and not talk, while people may seem to think that that's not such a healthy thing, but you can observe a lot of things in silence. So simple, we could go for a hike. Anything that happens in nature is good for me.
See, you can relate that to what Augie is saying about, you just go in some place, and the whole thought is that you're gonna outdo each other in terms of the love that you have.
Yes, of love. Yes, I don't require the wine and the dine and the food and all of that. The simple, straightforward things good for me. If that is the kind of date that we're going on, I will embrace it. But my first option will be, just us being in each other's presence in simplest of atmospheres.
You know what, the women is like I mean, a guy like me, I like to reminisce, I like to see people giggling. You're not too much into that.
I will match you.
Or you will match me.
You have to know me as that person, but I can match you.
All right. Okay, cool. Renian, the perfect date. What's the perfect date between husband and wife?
My perfect date would be send the kids to your mother. The house nice and clean. You and he cooks the meal, and have my music lined up that I like, playing low, lights turned down, nice and low and stuff like that. And, that would be my the full ambience. And like I said, that's Samantha, I don't expect much. You put in the effort to make me a meal, set it out, just you and I, and my favorite songs all keyed up. Perfect date.
Well, thank you so much for that, Rennie. And that's the first time we actually had a live demonstration. Someone.
Oh my goodness, I am loving these ladies.
Rennie, and I'm going to stay with you. From your experience, listening to stories of your girlfriends, female members of your family, have you ever encountered anyone who was able to convince a guy that he should get married to her, maybe in a day or two, or after first meeting or two?
Not right away.
Not right away.
No, not immediately. Because like you grow up hearing all these things. Take time to know this person, know the family, and especially in today's society, you got to know their arrest records. You got to know DNA, stuff like that. I'm just keeping it real. So you asked me if I've ever heard any family members or friends say, "Oh, marry that person the next day." No, I've never encountered that.
Right. Orlando, let's look at it a little hypothetically. What kind of woman portray, how can she act? What can she do outside of your Obian thing? That you think might make a man say, hey, this feels like somebody I can marry.
Well, I've heard stories of men seeing women walk into restaurants and say that is going to be my wife one day, and did marry that woman, and to date they are still married. It's like 15 years after. But that happens like, a diamond in the rough kind of thing. I think one of the girls was saying, I don't think there is anything I want to do so that you would fall in love with me in one day, because there are so many things, and this is from experience. There's so many things that I have to know before I jump into wanting to marry you. It's not you wanting to marry me. It's if I want to marry you. Again, in today's society, we have so much, some of us have so much to lose, that it would be of your best interest to do some investigation and ask for things. Ask for them. Don't be shy. Ask for them that you need to see and know before you proceed into a marriage. So he might see me and want to marry me because, he might see what he wants or needs in his life, but I'm not seeing that. So I cannot speak for that gentleman.
Okay, I hear that. Samantha, Tyrone in the chat was saying, there's something called spiritual connection. What's your take on that? Do you think that they can be so strong a connection that you actually think of, within a day or two marrying that person?
I wouldn't advocate the marriage within a day or two, but there is such a thing as spiritual connection. There is such a thing, like you see this somebody, or that this somebody sees you, and you may never have initiated a conversation in that first encounter, but there is that spiritual connection. But I will not add, you may know after a day or two, listen, I will marry this person. Sometimes, or once he or she agrees that we will get married, or I would have asked the question and I agree that I will get married. But I will not advocate that they'll get married after a day or two. But I believe that there is such a thing as a spiritual connection.
All right, folks. We're winding down. We're getting close to the close. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for your comments so far. Even at this late stage, we still invite you to, tell a friend and keep sharing the broadcast. All right? You're watching 15 Questions at the Georgetown Tea House. And here we go.
Uncle Augie, skirts, dresses, onesies, jeans, or business or other type uniforms? Which do you most admire on a woman, and why?
I would have to say dresses, if worn properly. I have a saying that is less revealing, but still appealing. Okay. Please leave something up to the mind. So yes, definitely the dress, but not too tight.
So you like the A-lines? You want change it in like a A-line?
No. It could fall off the body, no problem. But yeah, not too. If it's too tight where I see in your veins, that's not for me. Just a nice dress that flows in the contours.
Okay, and above the knee or below the knee?
Below the knee. Below the knee, yes.
Orlando, come for him.
Orlando, come for him. Oh my God. Yeah, be cracking up. Yeah, be cracking up. Guys, thank you so much. You guys are in the chat and I'm loving it. I'm there and I'm listening and I'm looking and you guys are making me laugh. I've seen some beautiful people. Tyrone Williams, I think he's here for the first time. Thank you, Tyrone, for joining us. My wife, Sebastian, and think put nearly 2 cents. And Sharon had an interesting take on wine. And Sharon, trust me, we'll talk about it in the tea house, all right? Thank you for always supporting us. But Orlando, he said less is more, all right? He wanted to do everything. He says leave something for the imagination. Come on now. All right? So, what happening?
Okay, so for me, I think the clothes don't wear me, I wear the clothes. And it depends on how I'm feeling. I don't want to be in an airline dress a whole lot. I'm getting closer over the hill and still look good. I want to reveal some stuff. I want to be out there revealing some stuff. So it's not too much and it's not too loud, but yeah, I'm gonna turn some eyes now.
Listen, girl.
Turn some eyes.
Listen, child. Suppose I call you desperate if you show too much.
No, I don't think I am.
Tastefully.
I'm way too confident to be desperate.
Okay.
Way too confident to be desperate. Okay. So that is definitely not me. I think a woman can show her curves, her beautiful, and show some knees because it's your knees and it's beautiful. I think you can dress and look really sexy, maybe not seductive, but yeah, you can show some skin. Why not?
Not all knees. Anyway, come for me if you like, but not all knees nice. Yes, Samantha. Okalagi.
Renee's
where you love shirt, yes.
I was so blessed to be in these ladies' company. For me, modesty is always the bottom line in the dress. So while less might be more, but modesty, and it took me a very long time to find my balance in terms of what that is. I dressed crazy in a time in my life going by. I was a crazy dresser. That's why I don't run into the young people when I see them dress a certain way. If I believe I have a place to have a conversation with you, I will have that conversation with you. But I have looked back at some pictures from my younger days and I want to shoot myself in my and back then I was feeling myself. I was real feeling myself. I was out there feeling myself. But I got to the point of modesty. And if I say now when I dress, if I have to ask someone if I look good, then I don't look good.
Okay. Samantha girl, I don't even have to look at photos. Like everything is in my memory. You would not have liked to see me. I mean, everything is all the way up, and I was not looking out. That was just me. That was just me comfortable. Yes. My mom would tell you I would. I'm always in a pants, a little short one, running to the store, running around because I was an athlete. So it was just my comfort, I don't like nothing restricting, so I was just happy there. Anyway, yeah, Benita, girl, what about a skirt? A nice skirt above your knees, fitting all the curves.
My favorite skirts, actually, we used to call them the hubble.
There you go.
Straight skirts.
Yeah.
The pencil skirts. I love those. I love those. And and the midi dresses, right? I think we call it bodycon. And if it fits you the right way, I have no problem because you're covered. Some women cannot help how they're shaped.
Yeah.
And no matter how they try to hide it, it will show out. Yeah. And so, like some people would put pictures up of people in church and stuff like that. When you look at the poor, no matter what this person wore, things would have stood out.
assets.
Exactly. I always tell people I am so happy in my teenage 20s we did not have social media, because I probably would have been crucified. I mean, I was not fat. I was because I was an athlete. So, but I wore whatever I wanted. I guess
you felt comfortable in.
And comfortable. And but what's the funny thing? We were growing up, and at that time we weren't into looks and stuff. We just
you weren't even conscious of
exactly
of what is it that you were putting on actually. Yeah.
Exactly. So I think that's part of the beauty of the innocence of that. Yeah. But see, by the time you turn 15, 16 and like, okay, then you start becoming fashion conscious and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I never like exposing,
right,
certain things. Don't mind, you might see me pulling and stuff. I do a lot of talk. But I never like exposing, but I love to see women dress properly. It could be a short dress, it could be a long dress, it could be a suit. The only thing I have a problem with is seeing grown women in onesies in the street. When I mean grown, and because one size does not fit all. I don't care.
You mean onesies with
and then not because they make it in your size means you have to buy it. We gotta keep it real. I try not to judge anybody, but I tell when I see a woman like that, I say, girl, I give you an A for confidence. It's true.
It's true. I'm with you.
Confident because I look at I got my little rolls and stuff. I would know how to conceal my roll. But some people are confident and exposed. Who am I?
Yes.
To judge,
the ones you see the lumps all through the ones even crazy. And I like you say, go girl, you brave.
You got an A for confidence.
There was a time I never wore pants,
Yeah.
Never wore pants because I did not feel confident enough. And that was because somewhere in my head, I don't know who said it to me, but somewhere in my head, it was said that women who wore pants were not modestly dressed. And so I
grew up hearing that too.
I could not wear pants. I was a strictly skirt girl. I remember I used to count how many skirts I owned. And I can recall as it is today, I can tell you the exact day when I first wore a pants. It wasn't even a long pants. And boy, it took me some doing to get out of the house. I almost wore a dress over that pants to get out of the house. But once I found my modest length and
as a woman, as a woman, you must know your body and you must know what will make it enhance it. And I'm all about that.
That's why
get as sexy as you would like, but you must know there's time and place, and you must know your body, understand your body, and showcase the parts that are nice and stuff. And these long dresses now that they have, the maxi dresses are beautiful. And you're free. Anyway, moving on. Thank you guys for your comments. I want to see your comments still coming, rolling in, and I want you to still be sharing the broadcast. Our friends would come back after we would have ended, and they watch every bit of it and they comment as well. All right, and they look forward to seeing your comments too because they respond to it. All right, so keep them coming.
And just like that, guys, we're on to the 15th and final question. I'm going to ask both of you guys to answer this one. All right? Tyrone, you up first. How would you describe the state of absolute happiness?
State of absolute happiness. One, peace of mind, where nothing ruffles your feathers, nothing troubles you, And you're at the place where even when there is turmoil around you and persons around you quarreling and all the rest of it, that you're as calm as ever. And you can step into any situation and bring perfect calm and peace to a raging storm. I think that's a state of perfect happiness, where you're basically satisfied, contented with yourself as a human being. And you're so control of yourself that nothing basically bothers you. Yes, you have stuff going on in your life, but it would not affect you to the extent that you will be sulky and sad and whatever it is. So you just smile through everything. And those around you will know, well, hey, though I'm quarreling, this person will be as calm and as peaceful as ever.
Uncle Augie, what about you?
First thing that came to mind is knowing that my wife has put me second to God. So he will keep thee in perfect peace whose mind is stayed on him. So yes, put me second to God and I am happy as all ever.
And that's that. And every other thing will just fall into place.
Everything else will fall into place. It has no choice.
Okay. So there you have it, guys. Tyrone and Alistair, Uncle Augie, answering our 15 questions. Come get them in the chat, please. All right.
Renian, how would you describe the state of absolute happiness?
To me, the state of absolute happiness is having peace of mind to the point that it doesn't matter what is going on around you. It cannot permeate your soul and your being and throw you off. Like people could be arguing and stuff and they can't pull you in and they can't change your attitude and your how you're feeling. Your children are well, your bills are paid, everything is working, everybody is happy. And for me, a lot of times I feel happy when I know I had the ability to make the others that I'm responsible for, or the others that I support, or all these little groups and stuff that I help, that they are happy and they have the equipment they need to function. So for me, seeing other people happy and my goals are attained and I have peace of mind makes me happy.
Okay,
Making other people happy makes me happy.
Okay, well, what about you, Orlando?
For me, I'm be honest. Peace of mind is everything. Peace of mind, oh my God, it goes such a far way from knowing what disturbance of peace can do to you. When you do experience peace of mind, it's a whole new world. It's a real nonchalant world about what's going on around you. I think the only thing that could penetrate that right now is if you mess with my car, my money, and my kids. I need my car to get my job, make the money, and take care of my kids. Other than that, I have a nonchalant kind of thing. Like everything is like, okay, all right. Because I'm so much at peace with everything. It's a beast. What peace of mind can do.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And Samantha, we're closing with you. If I talk about peace of mind,
you go ahead, Marcel. You finish.
No, I was just asking, when you are in that place, absolute, happiness, and what does it look like?
I learned at a very early age in my life. It could have been in my 20s. I learned the great lesson of understanding that my happiness is about me. All right. And that happiness is, so I can't depend on somebody to make me happy, or I don't depend on somebody to make me happy. And that was a lesson I learned very early up in my life. And in recent times, I've come to appreciate that happiness is weighed down inside of me. And as such, the external factors, things happening around me, should not affect that happiness. It may shift my focus for a moment, but it does not affect, or it should not affect, my happiness. And it really is a lesson that I have been carrying and I've been building on, tweeting and adjusting as I go along in life. And I have said to anyone who has attempted or who has happened to have had the opportunity to be in my space, I don't depend on you to make me happy. However, when you come into my space, do not, attempt to throw things my way, up to thwart off where I am in that place. And so the external factors, I don't allow it to get to my happiness.
And if I might piggyback on what Samantha said, I had to learn my triggers. Once I learned my triggers and I learned who pulled those triggers, I started to slowly remove myself from
that
environment and stop allowing those triggers to get to the target. So, like you said, starts with you. Yes.
Yeah.
And that's why, as Orlando was saying that, even with that peace of mind concept that all of the other ladies spoke about, Orlando said, when you find that, if you have been in turmoil and then you find that peace of mind, you will lynch a few people in the process to keep that peace of mind, because you have seen the two, you've seen the two. You've seen the two.
My aunt, just to let you
very protective of very protective of my peace of mind.
You have to be. You have to be. And like my aunt would normally say to me, and this would stick with me. This is something that comes up like every time we have a conversation, and I'm mad at a situation or where I'm at. She would normally say to me that if someone could make you go back to or revert to that person you used to be, you don't need to be with them. So it's just not in a relationship. It can be a friendship. If someone is always calling you and they is complaining, that nagging, negative, you definitely don't need to be in that space, because they're actually shaving away on your positivity. So, yeah.
All right. Listen to us. Thank you so much, beautiful, beautiful ladies, beautiful people in the chat. Patricia Trim, thank you for logging in. I see you. I see all you beautiful people. Karen and Cora, she was there in the chat there prattling. Thank you. Guys, you are amazing. You make Monday night so beautiful for all of us. We look forward. I dream about Monday nights. Actually, now I just think, it's Monday night. And when Monday night comes, trust me, the day just go by quickly. All right, we're just so happy that you're here. Continue to spread the word for us. If you're on YouTube, please do not go without clicking that the button that says subscribe, all right, and the notification bell so that you're notified whenever we go live. If you're on the Georgetown Tea House page, please hit the like button. Hit the like button. If you're on my page, make sure you're following me so that that you're in the know. When I got a little green hair or something, whatever I'm doing, you're gonna see it. All right. So thank you so much, and do have an amazing night.
Enjoy the rest of your week.
Enjoy the rest of your week, and see you on Monday evening at 8.
Yes.
All right.
Bye.
Monday is Labor Day weekend, Monday is Labor Day Monday, next Monday.
Yes, girl. There are a few of us who don't want nothing with super spreaders. So we come in right in front of our TVs and laptops and phones, and we're logging in. All right. So see you on Monday.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.